Hello, good morning to everyone. Also from my side, thank you very much for the invitation. Yes, it's starting, right? Okay, I was invited to also give some examples from how advisors are integrated in the AKIS in Austria, and I'm happy to do that. I'm working for the Austrian Chamber of Agriculture as Advisory Services Coordinator. We have a very different system also compared to Netherlands, what we've heard before. It's much less fragmented because we as the chambers are the main advisory services provider in Austria. We also have that mandate by law that we are this official advisory services body in Austria. And here I want to show you some examples how we are integrated in the AKIS, and also about how we assume our new role in the AKIS. So we see ourselves also as even more and more now with the new CAP period as innovation driver and innovation hub in the Austrian AKIS. For sure, this interlinkage between research and advisory services has always existed also in the past, and it is always and will always be our main role, bridging bridging the gap from research to the practitioners and farmers through our comprehensive advisory and training services and our strong networks with the practitioners, and also via high reach end user channels. This is what we have always done, but we always will continue doing that for sure, the new knowledge from research, bringing it into practice. But some things really changed also in the last years and will change over the coming years as well. For example, we have heard all these challenges that we are facing nowadays have to be also addressed by us as advisory services providers. And these are increasingly topics that are transdisciplinary issues. So we have to change a bit the way of how we work within our organizations. We have to work more closely, cooperate across departments, and also outside of the organization with other actors in the AKIS, and also over federal state boundaries, also Bundesländer levels across that. This is one major change that I see in advisory services, and for sure also this role as innovation support service. We always did that in the past to some extent, but now we are much more aware of that and doing it more consciously as we did in the past. So we take on this role that we are the ones who are providing impetus and also ideas for research projects. We are the ones that are working daily with the farmers and identify the knowledge needs and gaps, and then bring them into the research to our research partners. But with this, it's not done. It's not only done with systematically identifying the knowledge needs and gaps. We also participate in these interactive innovation projects, as have also been presented before already, where the knowledge is developed jointly with research together, and also the dissemination is already considered from the outset of the project already. And thankfully, we also get support in assuming this role also from the CAP. In our strategic plan, there are several interventions that support us in integrating advisors into the AKIS. One very obvious one is, and has already been mentioned often here in these 2 days, is the EIP Agri, where it is in Austria also mandatory for advisors to be part of the operational group, or at least part of the innovation project. And as we have already implemented this intervention in the past CAP period, we can already see and know that these cooperations on specific projects also foster cooperation and networking way beyond the projects with research parties. We have worked together once with a research party in a project, then we know them, we have the network, we have the people, the contacts, and they are only one phone call away from us. So I really see that this intervention and these projects also steer the networking beyond those projects. Then the National CAP Network in the new period will also have an important role and will carry out many activities targeting and integrating advisors in the AKIS. There will be also an AKIS cooperation branch built up next to the EIP support unit. A new AKIS cooperation support unit will be set up and will carry out activities like setting up and implementing an AKIS community of practice, where advisors will be key members of it, or there will also be idea labs or national focus groups implemented, which follow the multi-actor approach and will clearly also include us advisors. Last but not least, the most important intervention in the CAP strategic plan for us is for sure the advisory services funding, where innovation support service activities are decidedly eligible for funding. This is, for example, like identifying grassroots ideas and bringing it into the research, to the research partners, but also the exchange and networking with other AKIS actors is decidedly fundable in this intervention. But also outside of the CAP strategic plan, we have many activities and measures that should support us in integrating us in the AKIS. For example, we in the Chamber have established 3 years ago a service point for international and national innovation projects, which networks the national advisors with partners and project ideas. So besides this systematically identifying knowledge needs and gaps, and matching ideas with funding opportunities and potential partners, this service point also provides consultancy along the life cycle of an innovation project. So like from proposal writing to administrative stuff as well. Another example that is very well anchored also in our Austrian AKIS that exists since longer, but it's now more relevant than ever, is the nationwide continuing training plan for agricultural advisors and teachers. This is supported by national funds and carried out by the College for Agricultural Pedagogy in Vienna. This is really a key tool to disseminate current and new knowledge from research to the advisors, but also for keeping the advisors in this lifelong learning cycle and continuous education. And what is the good thing is the integration of the advisors here is also that this annual training program is always planned together with representatives of us and then implemented in cooperation with the research partners. And the last example with which I will close, and I will also point out, because this is a very easy one, very easy to implement. It didn't cost a lot of money, but 3 years ago we decided we won't wait for the new CAP and other interventions or so. We just take it in our own hands. And so we started to implement an event series for AKIS networking. Speeding Up Innovation is the name of this series, and we jointly organize it with the Agricultural Ministry. And it's aiming at networking advisors with researchers and also trainers, and by using concrete examples of research projects in selected thematic areas, we try to initiate and steer the dialogue and discussion on effective knowledge transfer instruments, but also on the respective micro AKIS, how this is functioning, how it can be improved, and so on. And over the course of the last years, we had several events in several micro AKISs, and we always got out very good recommendations of further activities, how to improve the different AKISs. Thank you very much. I think my time is over.